Hey guys, what's up? It's Caleb, and I'm gonna try something a little bit new. For those of you who don't know, Attack on Titan finally premiered in its English dub on Toonami just last night. Hopefully last night. If I've got this uploaded in time, then it'll have been last night. I've never thought to do one of these dub-sub comparison videos because I've never known enough about the show in question to do one. But I've been following Attack on Titan since its initial inception in Japan, and I thought that this might be fun to do for once. I don't know, we'll try it out. I'll try my best to do this each week. I'll have one of these up the day after the episode airs on Toonami. And of course, I'm going to say right out, I fully endorse, I want to hear back from you guys. I want to hear in the comments or on Twitter or something. I want to hear what you guys think of the dubbing so far. If you like it more than you thought you would, if you like the sub more, if you're kind of on the fence about it, you want to see how it plays out. But I want to preemptively just say, the one thing that we are not going to talk about in this episode or in any episode in the future is the intro being edited for the English dub. For those of you that didn't watch it, the Attack on Titan intro was severely edited down. I played like up to right before the lyrics start, and then it just played the ending. It skipped the whole middle section. The reason why we're not talking about it is because it has absolutely zero to do with the actual English dubbing. It has nothing to do with the English casting director. It has nothing to do with the performances, the scripting, none of it. It's not connected. It's a Toonami thing. It's not an English dubbing thing. And also, the other reason we're not talking about it is because the head of Toonami flat out said on Twitter that very same night, "I don't know what happened. It was supposed to air. It was a mistake. Please put the knives down. We'll fix it. Don't worry about it." I mean, think about it this way. Space Dandy, when it first aired, played like kind of like its own weird... Think about it this way, Space Dandy didn't have the original Japanese intro for a good few weeks, and then it finally did later. It now airs the full original Japanese intro, uncut and completely, unedited. Anyway, let's talk about the actual dubbing. Let's get into the meat of things. For the most part, in general, what the approach they seem to come at with the English dubbing of the Attack on Titan is that they did a lot of unknowns. They got a lot of people that are new to voice acting, have not been in a whole lot of things, and honestly, that's what I prefer. That's perfect. I would not want to sit down and hear Spike Spiegel's voice coming out of Levi. You know what I mean? You can't, because those are voices that are like their own portfolio. Those guys, their name is their own resume, and you cannot differentiate them. You hear it and you're automatically disconnected. And that's not what you need to do with Attack on Titan. And then for our three main characters, they did get people with a little bit more experience. When I get done filming this, I'm actually going to go and I'm going to try and find the tweet that I read that night. And this was not the only one like it, but if I can find it, I'm going to put it right over my face. And it was about how Armin's voice was manlier than Aaron's voice. They're like 9 years old. How manly do you want them to sound? Josh Grail?
Or does your philosophy say it's wrong to fight back, too?
As a matter of fact, it does. I'd rather take a few lumps than brawl like a beast.
Oh, so now I'm a beast?
Take a good hard look at yourself and tell me you're not acting like one. You resort to violence because your brain's the size of a walnut. So pummel me all you want. I've already won.
悔しかったら殴り返してみろや。
そんなことするもんか。それじゃお前らと同レベルだ。
なんだと？
僕が言ったことを正しいと認めているから、言い返せなくて殴ることしかできないんだろ。それは僕に降参したってことじゃないのか。
And that actually brings me to the biggest problem with comparing this episode's dubbing to the original Japanese subtitles, is that the main characters are still kids at this point in the timeline. Therefore, it's kind of tough to properly judge the voice performances of those actors because they're playing kid versions of themselves and they're not going to be kids for the entire show. So overall, it's kind of tough to do. Of course, everyone was bitching about, oh, why are they saying Mikasa's name like that? It's supposed to be Mikasa. No, it's not, guys. Like, I'm not gonna tell you to say it differently. If you call her Mikasa, that's fine, because I know who you're talking about. I'm not gonna be that asshole. I'm not gonna be that guy that says, oh, it's actually Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein was the name of the dog. We know it's the name of the dog. I'm not going to be that guy that tells you how to say her name, because I know who you're talking about. But don't come at the dubbing with an attitude saying that they did it wrong. They did it right. But what I did notice about scripting-wise, one of the changes they made with Mikasa is that in the original version, she comes off as very straightforward. She comes off very to the point about everything. But in the English dubbing, they rewrote her to be much more snarky. There's a hint of sarcasm in there, and I'm not sure how I feel about that yet.
あれミカサ
そろそろ帰ろう。
なんでここに
そんなに寝ぼけるまで熟睡してたの？
言うなよ誰にも俺が泣いてたとか
言わない。
Mikasa, hey,
We should get back.
where are we exactly?
Try asking me again when you're awake.
Do me a favor, huh? Don't let anyone know I was crying.
Yeah.
And it's just a little thing that I noticed, and I'm gonna keep a note of it as the episodes kind of go along. I'm gonna see where they go with that, because I noticed that fairly quickly. I'm like, man, you got a little bit more of an attitude than you used to. One of the performers that actually surprised me the most was Hans. Hans' voice actor I had never heard of before. Granted, I don't know a whole lot of names, but when I was, reading through the cast list, I didn't recognize Hans' voice actor, but he surprised me a lot. He out of all of them felt the most natural. He was very laid back and very casual, which is perfect, because when you first meet Hans, he's a little drunk. So he really, it's perfect. He should be, if the Titans show up, I'll kick their ass. I'll kick their ass. And then when I do, the debt to your dad is gone. It's totally gone. Are you unpopular? Do you pop out at parties? Well, then all you need is Vitamin medium. Oh, fuck.
お前らも一緒にどうだ？
いや仕事？
おう、今日はモンペイだ。一日中ここにいるわけだから、やがて腹が減り喉も渇く。飲み物の中にたまたま酒が混じっていたことは些細な問題に過ぎねえ。
You kids care for a swig?
Aren't you, on watch?
Yup, watching the old gate we are. Thirsty work playing sentry. Pinochle only goes so far to chase off the boredom. Little nip now and then keeps us all in our courage for a spell. Perks of being a guard, eh?
Another aspect that people are talking about that got changed was that it went from in the original Japanese to
All squadrons, engage omnidirectional mobility gear!
In the English dub. And everybody's throwing a tantrum like it's a huge betrayal. I thought I was nitpicky. Like, does it really matter? Does it really honestly matter what it's called? Because really, it changes nothing. To be perfectly frank, if you want my opinion, I think omnidirectional mobility gear honestly sounds a little more realistic, I guess. It's never called optic camouflage, it's called, like, Invisotech suit fabric. Honestly, it fits just fine. You can just call it Omni Gear if you really want to. You don't have to pronounce the whole thing, no one's making you. I will say this, they definitely got the screaming down, right? In general, dubbing's really good. Everybody so far, outside of the main characters, because again, I can't judge too much because they're in their kid form. Of course, the entire series is on Crunchyroll and on Netflix for streaming, with the original Japanese dialogue and the subtitles if you were too lazy to watch that, then now you've got the English dub version, which so far is turning out to be pretty good. I'll be back next week, and hopefully this continues, because so far this is a cut above the normal English dub treatment. But I mean, there's so many things that we haven't gotten to yet. The characters haven't matured. There's so many characters that haven't been introduced yet. There's so many plot points that haven't been introduced yet. We'll have to see where it goes and hope for the best. But I fully encourage you to watch next week's episode and then come back here and revisit this, and we can kind of bounce back and forth with the comments and through Twitter, and we can be nerds online together. So until then, take care, you guys. Have fun next week. I'll see you then. Could you imagine if they had stuck with 3D maneuver gear and they just called it 3D gear? And can you imagine an action scene playing out and they change the line, or they write a line that says, "Let's go 3D"? Like, can you imagine how stupid that would sound?